What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news, and in this video, once again, we got some good stuff to talk about, especially when it comes to Jordan Brand. I'll give you a rundown in a second, and just a heads up, we're just about 200 subscribers away from reaching 100K, and after we reach the 100K milestone, I think there needs to be a giveaway. I'm not sure what exactly yet, and I've waited a while to do a giveaway just because I wanted to reach 100K without trying to give something away, and we're just about there. So once that's achieved, we can all start talking about giveaways and get an idea of what should be given away. Now, if you do have a second, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. That's definitely going to help. Now, as for the highlights in this video, the number one highlight would be, now this is a rumor, that the 2019 release of the Air Jordan 11 Bred will feature the number 45 on the heel and not the number 23. Now, I'm going to talk extensively about this later on in the video. Also, we have an on-feet look at the Supreme Air Jordan 14 collaboration and additional images of the PSG Air Jordan 6 collaboration. Other than that, we have a lot from Nike and a few upcoming Adidas Yeezy models. But without wasting too much more of your time, let's jump into the news. Over the past several months, the amount of Yeezy releases has really skyrocketed. I'm not sure why that is, but we're getting some decent releases. Now, depending if you're a fan of the model, we have a new Adidas Yeezy Boost 700 set to release in June, and this time it comes in utility black. So basically we have an all black Yeezy 700, which comes constructed with suede, mesh, and leather. Now, this kind of looks similar to the Vanta Yeezy Boost 700 V2 that's dropping this month. And what's setting this pair apart from the Vanta is the fact that it has a gum outsole. So we don't have a retail price, however, we do have a release date, and this pair is set to release on June 29th. And just as a reminder, this is a rumored release date. It's not locked in as of yet, and I'm sure we're going to get some more information on this release very soon. Also launching during June is two versions of the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in black. One comes in your non-reflective and one will feature reflective. We have official images now of the non-reflective pair, although it still appears that there is some reflective detailing on the laces. I'm not entirely sure because they're stock images, but it kind of looks like it. And going over the shoes really quick, they feature black prime knit across the upper, and then we have a heel tab with red stitching. They'll also come with a black boost midsole, and getting to the release information, the non-reflective, which is shown, is set to release on June 8th for $220. Now, the reflective pair will be the more limited of the two and is rumored to release on June 7th. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but retail price for the non-reflective is $220, and we don't have a retail price for the reflective pair. However, I believe it'll cost $250. We also have new images of the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Antlia. Now, I wanted to go over a few things. In the last video, I showed images of the Antlia release, and come to find out, that is the reflective pair. Just like the black pair, there's going to be two releases. One will be reflective, the other will be non-reflective. So here with these new images, we have a look at the non-reflective version, which features that yellowish prime knit upper. In addition, it has a translucent stripe across the side. Unlike the black pair, it lacks a heel tab. It'll also come with boost cushioning and a two-toned midsole and outsole. There isn't a set release date for the non-reflective as well as reflective, but both are expected to drop in June. Retail price for the non-reflective is $220, and the reflective will cost you $250. PJ Tucker, who is known to wear various rare releases as well as pairs that don't release at all, was recently sent over his own player exclusive from Nike, and it's the Kobe 4 Protro. Looking a bit closer at the shoe, they feature powder blue across the base, while crimson lands on the laces, liner, swoosh, and part of the outsole. Following, we have camouflage detailing that wraps the ankle, runs across the heel, and also lands on the tongue. Last but not least, we have his number 17 on the ankle. So we're not going to spend too much time on this shoe just because they aren't releasing. They're an exclusive to PJ Tucker, and I'm sure if he was still in the playoffs, he would be wearing these right now. But just want to get your thoughts on the Kobe 4 Protro. Let me know what you think about this pair, as well as some of the upcoming colorways. Also releasing during June is a new Nike Kyrie 5, which comes in black and metallic gold. Now, the color theme is somewhat reminiscent of the Game 7 pack, which featured the Kyrie 2 and the LeBron Soldier 10. It's actually kind of funny because I titled this article Nike Kyrie 5 releasing with championship vibes, and I know they were eliminated by the Bucks, and a lot of people were not too happy about it. But some of you may remember that Nike released several shoes for Kyrie as well as LeBron that came in this black and gold theme, which celebrated the team making the finals. But for this pair, they feature mainly black throughout, and then we have metallic gold on the swoosh, Kyrie branding and signature on the tongue, as well as the shroud, and speckled across the black rubber outsole, and white lands on most of the midsole. So if you're interested in purchasing this pair, they officially drop on June 16th, and retail price will be $130. It appears that we finally have a release date for Giannis's first signature shoe, the Nike Greek Freak 1, also known as the Nike Zoom Freak 1, and the first colorway, which comes in total orange, midnight navy, and white, which is shown here, has started to show up on release calendars at retail stores. So one of them, I believe the name is Soul Story. I'm not entirely sure of the name. They're an overseas website, and they have this shoe releasing on June 29th. We currently don't have a retail price, but I feel Nike somewhat dropped the ball on this shoe. Now, not on how they look, because I actually like them, but I feel that they should have released during the playoffs, even though they're down 3-2 to the Raptors. Giannis has had an excellent season. He's in the running for MVP, and the Milwaukee Bucks are having their best playoff run since, I believe, the early 2000s. I don't remember the exact date, but I read an article on it recently. But that's just my thought on it. Let me know your thoughts on the Greek Freak 1 in the comments below. And once there's more information as well as colorways that leak and a retail price, I'll make sure to let everybody know. A few days ago, Nike released the Ivory Snake Nike Air Force 1 Low, and they are going to expand on their reptile releases. This time, we're going to go back to 2002 with the return of the Nike Air Max 90 Python. Now, there was a similar Python release. Well, I shouldn't say similar. The color blocking was totally different, but as far as the Python used in the same locations, a pair did drop, I believe, in 2015, and that was a women's exclusive, but now we have the original colorway set to return. They'll feature gray, anthracite, black, and white, pretty much how you see them here. However, when I was going through images of the 2002 release, you could tell some are lighter in shade. That could be due to age or just how that picture was taken, but one thing you'll notice on this shoe is the midsole is yellowed as well as the Air Max unit. The 2019 release, of course, won't be like that. But instead of featuring mesh, it'll be swapped for leather. Then we'll have a Python texture on the overlays, while suede is used on the mudguard. I don't have a retail price, but I was told by my sources that this pair is expected to launch in June. We finally have a release date for the Nike Air Fear of God 1, Frosted Spruce, and Orange Pulse. Both are set to release on June 1st. Retail price will be $350 each, and it appears that they're going to be limited. Now, I am not saying they're limited because of the Foot Locker launch locator, what it shows, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But I also heard the other retailers that plan on getting them, they're not going to have a lot of stock available. So for the Frosted Spruce, the Foot Locker in New York City on 34th Street, as well as House of Hoops Harlem, will have this pair available. And then the Orange Pulse will release at Foot Locker in Hollywood and Highland in LA, and at South State Street in Chicago. Now, like I mentioned, there's going to be more retailers that will have both colorways, and I'll make sure to let you guys know once a full retail list becomes available. On to Jordan Brand, and first up, we're going to talk about a few Air Jordan 1 mid releases. The first being a women's exclusive that comes highlighted in turf orange. Now, as you can see, turf orange runs across most of the upper, also covers the tongue and the laces while utilizing leather and mesh. Following, we have Blue Void that fills in the Wings logo, lands on the swoosh, tongue label, liner, and rubber outsole. The last detail is cell, which lands on the midsole, and it kind of gives it a vintage vibe. With the Air Jordan 1 Mid, usually there isn't set release dates. It's one of those shoes that retailers, when they get them in, they'll just throw them on the shelf. And with that being said, this pair doesn't have a release date and is expected to drop very soon. Retail price is set at $110. The next Air Jordan 1 Mid to look at is a kids exclusive, and it's known as Glow in the Dark. Before we jump to the glow in the dark element of the shoe, we're going to talk about the upper, which features black leather on the panels and across the toe, while the swoosh logo that lands on the panels and extends towards the heel is stitched. In addition, we have shades of pink, crimson, as well as a light green, while white covers the midsole. The last detail is a glow in the dark rubber outsole. So I definitely see this as a solid release for kids, but just like the Air Jordan 1 Mid Turf Orange, this pair doesn't have a release date. Again, this is one of those shoes that when retailers get them, they'll throw them on the shelf. There's usually an expected time frame, which if I had to guess, it would be in June. And currently we don't have a retail price available. We have some on-feet images of the Supreme Air Jordan 14, which comes in white and university red. Coming from an on-feet standpoint, these aren't the best images, and I don't think the individual's intent was to give us an on-feet look. More so his entire outfit, which I believe the outfit is a Supreme Nike collaboration that dropped on Thursday, which would be yesterday. Anyways, this does show us kind of what to expect. And as far as release information goes, there isn't a set release date. They are rumored to drop this summer, but if I had to guess, it's very possible that we see a release take place in June. Also releasing alongside the white and university red pair, there is a black chrome and varsity royal, and retail price for both will be $248. To me, these shoes would have been a lot nicer if they removed the studs. And if you missed the last video that I talked about this shoe, the reasoning why, well, what many believe is the reason why Supreme chose to use these studs is due to a photo that showed Michael Jordan during the mid-90s wearing a black leather jacket with studs across it, and then he had a blue shirt on underneath. I could kind of get it if they collaborated on the Air Jordan 10 and used that theme, but for the 14, at a loss. However, Supreme does things differently. They may have their own reason for that. And I'm sure before the release actually happens, Nike and Supreme will put out some sort of press release and kind of explain the background story of it. So stay tuned for that. I believe it was in the last video, we got a first look at the Air Jordan 6 PSG, which is a collaboration between Jordan Brand and Paris Saint-Germain. And now we have a detailed look. At first, I wasn't sure what to think of the shoe. However, I'm starting to like them a bit more, and I think I know why. And to me, it somewhat reminds me of the Bordeaux Air Jordan 7. The overlays feature black, and then we have this shade of gray used on the base, just like the 7s. Although this shoe doesn't have Bordeaux, it does feature infrared, so that would be the biggest difference, of course. But some of the other details on this shoe includes Paris and 75 on the lace locks. There's a small red tab by the heel that reads Paname. Now, I apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly. We also have a dark, smoky, translucent outsole, PSG and Jordan branding on the heel. Last but not least, we have more branding on the insoles. There isn't a set release date for this pair, but expected to drop this July, and the retail price will be $225. Also, I stated this in the last video, and I'm going to share once again. Rumor is that there's also a PSG Air Jordan 1 Low expected to release around the same time as the Air Jordan 6. More than likely, it'll be the same day. I'm sure 90% of you clicked on this video because of the Air Jordan 11 Bred information, and now we're going to talk about it. So as of now, this is a rumor, and the Air Jordan 11 Bred, the 2019 release, is expected to have the number 45 on the heels. Now, there's going to be a few images shown in this video. One of them is a custom. It's not the actual release, and this custom is done by Chris Custom Kicks, and the other pair is an older sample. Now, when I shared this information last night, a lot of people on Twitter seem to have mixed feelings on it. Some people were upset, some people didn't care, but I definitely want to get your thoughts on it. Now, before you jump to the comments and let me know, we're going to talk about a few things. The number one being Michael Jordan never wore the Air Jordan 11 Bred with the number 45 in a game. I've heard this for many years. I even went through a ton of images just to double check because I didn't want to throw that out there and it'd be incorrect, and I found nothing. So basically I was doing my research on it. However, MJO23Dan on Instagram shared this unique image, and you'll notice is that there's an Air Jordan 11 with the number 45 on the heel. As well, we have some other classic Air Jordans, as well as the Air Max 180 and the Air Max 1. And for those that don't know who's in this image, that is Tinker Hatfield and Sandy Bodecker. Now, that is a sample on the table, and as you can see, it does feature the number 45, and apparently that was what Michael Jordan was going to wear. This, of course, would take place during the 1995-1996 season, but things changed because during the 1995 NBA playoffs, MJ went back to the number 23. Michael Jordan never wore the Air Jordan 11 Bred with the number 45, and as you know, they never released. So it is somewhat interesting that Jordan Brand would release this shoe. However, I personally don't mind it. I know everyone has their own opinions on it, but Jordan Brand is known to release samples, sample colorways, even sketches. For example, the Air Jordan 5 pre-grape, that was originally expected to be the Grape Air Jordan 5. The Air Jordan 3 Tinker, that originally was a sketch by Tinker, and there's just so many more to talk about. But going back to the beginning of this part of the video, this is just a rumor for now. However, another part of this rumor is that images giving us a first look is expected to leak in the next few weeks. So that should give us confirmation, and I'll also tell you that they're already starting production on it, so it's going to be a massive drop. Before I wrap up this video, just wanted to give you guys the release info if you don't know it. They're expected to drop on December 14th. A lot of time until then, so anything could happen. It could be pushed forward or back, and retail price will be $220. Now, with all that being said, please let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Are you happy about them releasing with the 45, or do you think Jordan Brand should release them with the 23, or maybe you just don't care and you want to purchase, or you're not going to? And that recaps the news. Like always, we post it first on SneakerFiles.com, and then we take it to YouTube. Once again, appreciate you guys watching this video, and since this is Friday, I'll make sure to be back on Monday, and I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. And for many, this will be an extended weekend because Monday is Memorial Day. And big shout out to all those that served in the military, has family serving in the military, or friends. Now, if you got a second and you haven't done so already, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit the red button below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.